Have a rolling start, okay?
Yeah, sure.
The easiest way. I don't have any credits or nothing. These are just conversations, they're not podcasts.
Absolutely, yeah.
So tell me, Alex, when was the first time you typed how to make money online into Google?
Um, that should be back in October-ish, 2019.
Why?
I had some adventures in other businesses. I started now that you mention it. I mean, yeah, I started some MLM things, car flipping, um, I even thought it was a good idea to sell like men's care products as a wholesaler to salons,
Mhm.
because I saw like a different product, but I had no knowledge in sales and marketing, so that ultimately failed. Um, but yeah, after that failure and having failed in seven other businesses, I thought that there should be something wrong about the things that I'm doing. So started doing some research online. That's where I typed in YouTube, how to market a business or whatever, marketing and selling. So yeah, that was the first time.
But it took you like seven attempts at business before the penny dropped and you said, "Hey, I've got to figure out a different way to do this."
Yes, yes, it took a while.
And had you always been entrepreneurial? Like, had you been trying to do business stuff since you were a kid?
um, I mean, not much as a kid. I have to admit. I was quite easygoing as a kid, having fun. Never thought about how to make money. But yeah, I mean, after college, graduating, and just trying to get a bunch of jobs, I just couldn't fit in that environment for some reason. And my bosses will tell me like, you're not good enough, like you're not performing well, all these things. I even had a time where my boss said like, um, you can't handle pressure, so I don't see you how you're gonna get another job in your life. So yeah, I guess I wasn't fit in those environments, but after that, I decided I had to do something at the end of the day. Um, but in the meantime, while I was working in other jobs, I was trying to, start a business in one way or another. So yeah.
And you're what age are you now, Alex? You're pretty young, I think.
Um, yeah, I just become 30 like last month.
And you got married quite young as well, right?
Yes, I got married when I was 23, I guess.
It is.
Um, yeah, and my first daughter I had her when I was 22. Um, quite
Son,
young. Sorry.
you have a son. You're a son now as well, right?
Yeah, I just had a son. He's 2 months old.
Amazing. Man, that is young. Like nowadays, to be a married father of two by age of 30, that's very young. It's good though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, when we first had our daughter, like society would look us with another eye. Like, what are these kids doing? It's not normal nowadays. Like, especially in my country, where you know, there are people 35 years old and still staying with their mom and dads because life is difficult nowadays. But yeah, we decided to do something different.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, like starting your family that young, it kind of focused your mind and made you realize you had to do something different to other people, right?
Yeah, it gave me another extra push for motivation. Like, um, I had to grow up, um, take care of my family, like I could see other 22, 23-year olds just having fun, partying all the time, especially in a Mediterranean country, how things are. And uh, and yeah, it's just I was hustling at home all day. just to, pay the bills and take care of the family.
You are from the island of Cyprus, right?
Yes, I was born in the UK. We moved here when I was 10, but both parents are Cypriots.
Okay. And when they're Cypriots, is Cyprus, I know it's kind of like a disputed territory, right? There's Greek people and Turkish people both claim ownership.
Yeah, it's a constant battle, a lot of mind games, especially the last few years where Cyprus has found oil in the sea, so Turkey is trying to find some ways to
Where
be
did we
part
leave
of.
those title papers? We need them back, yeah.
Yeah. But it's different here. I mean, we have to serve the army at the age of 18 for 2 years. Um, and we do visit the army every 2 or 3 times a year just to do some trainings. But yeah, it's our life is here. Yeah.
And so you did military service when you were a teenager?
Yeah. As soon as I graduated from high school, I had to join the military.
How was it?
I mean, it was good. It depends in what like force you join. You don't have a decision on that. You think you have, but essentially they put you wherever they want to. I was a tank driver, so
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger was.
yeah, yeah. It's quite strict there in that field.
Is that why you wear the big headset now all the time to remind you of your tank driving days?
It could be, yeah. It's a unconscious thing, I guess. Yeah, but it was okay. Um, Quite difficult, but okay.
So you got to a point where you said, okay, I got to figure out marketing and sales. But like that's not straight away an entry point into being a marketer and being a copywriter. So where did you go from there?
Yeah, I mean, after that, watching a bunch of videos, there was this guru who was constantly showing up and retargeting him with ads after watching his videos.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I searched like a term on YouTube, that was the first guy who was showed up during that day.
Was it a dude in
Uh,
a red suit?
yeah, he was wearing a suit all the time.
Red one.
Yeah, sometimes a red one, of course.
I think we know who that guru is. So what did you find out from him? What did you learn from him?
I mean, yeah, I learned some. He recommended some great books, like some from Swartz, Eugene Swartz, Sugarman, all these copywriting people that we know. I learned a bunch of stuff like the fundamentals. Um, I was studying some sales pages and stuff, but yeah, just to get my feet wet and discover the field of copywriting. I guess that was a good start.
Did you initially think that you were going to use it to market a different business, or once you discover it, you were like, hey, this actually is a business. This could be a business for me.
Yeah. I mean, I was fed up with all the business adventures that I had, so I guess that was a way to finally be able to create a business in this field and support my family. Um, so yeah, it was a good starting point to become a freelancer, I guess.
And what's the awareness of freelancing and like marketing and doing this kind of stuff like where you live in Cyprus? Did people know about it? Did people understand what you were doing?
I mean, especially back then when even before COVID, because during COVID they had to, one way or another, be online in some way for a lot of businesses. But yeah, back then, very little awareness. I would talk to people and they wouldn't understand what I'm doing. Um, so yeah, I mean, most people here are just like either employees, corporate jobs, or whatever else. To a lot of technicians. and others like in maybe, local restaurants and cafes. There's a huge trend here where if you want to become successful, you have to open a coffee shop.
Hmm.
um, so yeah, and then the more successful guys are into like real estate. Um, but yeah, nothing whatsoever about copywriting. They sometimes confuse the term with content writing.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, um, I don't think they even have awareness even now.
Like, what about your wife and your family? Did she like kind of get what you were doing? Did she think this is like something crazy, or did she actually just have faith in you that you're going to make it work?
I guess it was a little bit of both, because she comes from a family that, her, her dad was a builder. She has some brothers that are also like technicians and stuff. So um, she wasn't really knowledgeable in the online space, but she had faith in me that probably this could work. Seeing what we seeing from other people that have tried this in the past. Um, yeah, she supported me during that stage for sure.
What was your first big win?
Big win. I guess it was big in my eyes when I made my first $10 online on freelancer.com now back then.
It's a huge moment for anybody. It's huge because up till that point, up till that moment where the money arrives the first time, this is all just probably bullshit. It's probably a scam. I'm probably just being fooled.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The first dollar makes it real, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, although as much as you want to believe that this is going to work, if you don't get that money in, that you won't believe it. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's not real till the money's in the bank. The same principle applies all the way along, even when it goes from $10 to $100 to $1,000 to $10,000. And I haven't done $100,000 deal yet, so I can't speak about beyond that. But all of those stages where there's an extra zero on the deal,
Yeah.
it's still not real till the money's in the bank.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God.
The first $10 comes in, you're like, oh shit, this is real. What do you do then?
I kept moving forward, starting to look for new deals. Although I was a bit naive back then, I didn't know how to, market myself and, how to get more money in. I was
Mhm.
I was a lot slow, like very slow. Um, so I only knew, and then of course it's based on what the guru told us, um, which was just market yourself on Upwork and freelancer.com. So
Mhm.
that's what I tried. It worked until a point where it didn't. Um, and yeah, there was a stage where, if I can expand on that, where 3 4 months after graduating from that, let's say, course, I wasn't getting any money in. For 3 4 months, I just thought that this isn't going to work after all. I got depressed. Like all those, all that money I spent to learn this thing, and after all, maybe this is a scam. Those are like some thoughts that I was making, and yeah, I was seeing other people, especially in the course, where they were getting like some good wins, like things that they could do like $2 3,000 a month, which was huge for me back then. If I could was able to get that amount of money,
Mhm.
and I was just getting like 10 times less than that. So I was trying to see what I was doing wrong again, maybe wrong mindset. I was comparing myself with them, got depressed, hopeless, didn't know what to do. Until 3 4 months later, I decided like to give it another shot, just go all in. And I remember at that time I had all that money that I got as freelancer was about $1,500. I think that was in my PayPal account, and I spent it all on another mentor that essentially was a turning point.
Yeah. Do you want to say who that was? If it was somebody,
Yeah, it was Troy Erickson.
good guy, very good guy.
Yeah, very good guy. Very, very, very good guy. Um, he would, I mean, back then he would just give advice for free. I mean, I was reaching out to his DM. He wasn't like hesitant to send me advice, very supportive. And then I just wanted something more. So I invested in his private mentorship. And yeah, pretty much every time that someone reaches out to me online, they say one way or another that Troy Erickson he has a testimonial about me on his page, or he speaks of me in some events. So yeah, very
Yeah.
grateful.
I first heard about you from Troy, who I didn't know super well, but I knew a little bit. And he was talking about how you had been reaching out to him, asking him for advice, and that you'd been actually going out and like just doing the things he told you to do and seeing good results. And that I think like that was kind of maybe one of his early mentorships as well, was mentoring you. And that's kind of what gave him inspiration to go on and create some courses and coaching programs, which he's become very successful doing, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, yeah, I was his, as far as I'm aware, I was his first ever private mentee, and probably his last. That's what he told me. But yeah, if that inspired him to create all his programs online, then I guess I'm proud of that because he's helping a lot more people.
Like, so you, well, I think what change you made, and maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you went from initially like just writing copy to like, okay, now I'm going to deliver a service. And that was specifically email marketing. And you sort of found a service, and then you found a niche right away, or didn't find a niche right away.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I transitioned from a copywriter. I mean, I did already work with a couple of agencies in the US. We were doing Facebook ads for one, and then for another, I was doing a mix of everything. Um, but yeah, essentially differentiate myself, like being an email marketer, handling their email account, and also helping them with deliverability, because I did have some technical skills from my bachelor's degree in computer science, so those were helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was beneficial. But yeah, I didn't select a niche. I was just like at the beginning hungry for work, so whatever opportunity will come my way, I will just take it.
Yes. But can you define for people watching if what the like how do you differentiate between your responsibilities and what you're accountable for as a marketer, as an email marketer versus an email copywriter?
Yeah, I mean, so an email copywriter, and that's what I was doing back then, and I see other people doing, is essentially you're just writing the emails in a Google Doc, and you're just sending them to maybe to the business owner or the marketing person who's in charge of their email account. And yeah, after that, if you're lucky, that person will get back to you and give you the stats of the emails or whatever copy you handed in.
Which usually
Um,
doesn't happen.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, as an email marketer, you have a lot more responsibilities. You're in charge of their whole emailing system. But of course, you'll become more valuable as a person to the business owner because they don't have to spend time monitoring or scheduling emails or whatever. They can focus on more important things for their business.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's how essentially you can also charge more at the end of the day. And of course, if you're smart enough and you are skillful, you can also become an expert in this field and generate the results you want for the business owner. And if they get the results, they see the value, so they keep paying you more as a retainer every month.
Yes. And for quite some time, there was a kind of very lifestyle oriented trend in copywriting where they were like, oh, don't learn to do this, don't learn ads, don't learn to be an email marketer. Just write the copy and send a Google Doc and get paid, bro. Like that was people were saying that kind of stuff as like it's the ultimate basic lifestyle business. But I think you and I both know that the reality is that having more skills makes you stand out from the crowd of people who can just write, and makes you a hell of a lot more valuable and
Yes.
more control over your future as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even now I'm looking for ways to grow and learn new stuff. I mean, I'm not going to stay as an email marketer only forever. Like, for example, now I'm looking at ways to maybe learn direct mail. Um, because with all these things with Facebook ads and the iOS 15 updates that are affecting emails, maybe there's a way we can retarget those people with direct mail. So, and I've seen some great results, especially in the e-commerce space. So maybe I will explore that further.
So this is actually like, and I've seen this, there's companies that are integrating direct mail, which is pretty much the oldest form of direct response marketing, with online, with e-commerce. So once
Yes.
the because it's a natural fit, because e-commerce companies are sending things out to their customers anyway, even if they don't necessarily manage their own fulfillment. They have a mailing address for everybody who ever spends money for them, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. And there's a good platform that just announced that they're integrated with Klaviyo. It's called Post Pilot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great platform. I've seen a lot of especially email marketers that endorse that platform. So yeah, guess it's a great way to retarget those people, as you said, and get more sales.
So right now in 2023, for a company that's already it's got its Facebook ads, it's generating new leads from Facebook ads, it's converting enough of those leads into customers to actually bring revenue into their store, and they're building up a customer database, and they're also marketing to those customers to get them to come back and repurchase via email. What additional benefit can come to a company like that from adding direct mail into the mix?
Oh, it's gonna be huge for them. I mean, especially now. I mean, most of the times when you send an email out, you would get 20, 30, if you're lucky, 40% of the people who are responsive and are opening the email. Of course, there are a couple strategies that you can, let's say, re-engage with the unengaged part of the list. But that essentially will just add like maybe 10 to 20% back of the whole size of the list. So let's say on average, there's a 50% part of the list that you can't even communicate with. So here's where direct mail comes in, and basically they've seen a lot of response from direct mail because people will open up their post box in the house at the end of the day. So it's very effective, and they've seen a lot of great results. Maybe with some tactics like the win back automation, like even direct mail nowadays is automated, they say. So you if you have, let's say, a three-part email automation, a win back automation, you can transform that into a three-part direct mail automation. So that's a great way to get more people and more people back into your ecosystem.
So this is for customers who don't open the emails. You would then actually have an automation built in where they would get sent something in the mail directly, a piece of post,
Yes,
if they
yes.
stop opening the emails that the company sends out.
Yeah, exactly. And another point is, now that I've thought about it, is, now with Black Friday coming up and Cyber Monday, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of emails that are going to be sent out every single day from businesses. So the inbox of each customer is going to be overcrowded. So the one way you can differentiate yourself as a business is just send direct mail. Um, it's a great way to reach your potential customer and even your existing customer to upsell them. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another good, valuable point.
And for marketers right now, I mean, and I always forget this, every August every August, and I think probably lots of people have this experience, business goes quiet in August because people are taking their vacations. There's not as much, people are just not spending as much money on marketing that time of year. And every August, I forget that last August it was the same. And hey, where's the money this month? Where's the and then September 1st rolls around, and it's the same experience I've had every year the last 4 years. September 1st, suddenly, text messages, DMs, emails start to come in with new projects starting up. Everyone suddenly thinks, oh God, Black Friday is coming. I've got to go spend some money on marketing now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Besides all of that, you're doing email, you're doing direct mail. And what about SMS? Are you integrating that into what you do for your clients?
Yeah, I do that as well. Yeah. SMS gets good positive results, but it's not like as an essential thing where you have to rely on.
Mm-hmm.
It just adds a percentage of sales every month if you're consistent.
Okay. I mean, people who advocate for SMS always say that SMS open rates are much better than email. But does that translate into more sales coming in, or is it not as effective as a sales channel?
No. The click rates on SMS are far less than email.
Okay.
Um, I guess people are more, I don't know, they tend to open their SMS, so they will do that as well, but it's not like it's a repulsive thing, I guess. It's not like they're gonna take action on that. Um, Email has been a lot more consistent in that area.
Yeah. Just like, again, it's like personal experience. It's like SMS are like, it feels kind of untrustworthy, because there's so many. I don't know how it is for you guys in Cyprus. Here in Ireland, they've got so much, like so many financial scams by SMS happening the last few years, like
Oh,
banking
wow.
scams and other kinds of financial scams, that people are very mistrustful of SMS unless they recognize the number that it's coming from. People tend to ignore it or delete it or even block it.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's another reason. I like to always like lead with the name of the brand when the message is shown. Like first thing that they will read is the name of the brand, just to associate that this is coming from somewhere trustworthy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we do experience that in Cyprus as well, but not on that such a level.
So you got to the point where you had a mentorship with Troy and you kind of figured out, okay, here's some other services I can offer. But what did you learn from Troy, and what actually changed about how you were going out and finding business?
Oh, well, a lot of things. I mean, um, Troy was mentoring me every single month for, I guess, almost a year. I learned a lot of things, but probably I will forget some. But the first thing that he told me was how to get out of my comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
start posting more on Facebook,
Yeah.
in Facebook groups, how to network with people, how to communicate. And as soon as I did that, I got my first like high paying clients, which was about, I don't remember, $2,000 back then.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, yeah, I was just like DMing people the proper way. He told me how to not be needy. Although I was very needy, I was trying to not show that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just wanted to. I was always been a person that leads with value, so I guess it came more natural to me to lead with value with people, communicate well, be kind, and then Troy also taught me how to sell myself on Zoom calls, how to sell my services. That took a lot of training because I wasn't acquainted with that at all. Like even when you do copywriting, you just know to sell with words, not like when you're live or speaking with some person.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I heard somebody talking about the difference between because copywriting is a form of sales, but they talked about the difference between a copywriter and like a salesperson, a closer, somebody who actually gets a deal on the phone, is like the difference between someone in a knife fight and someone firing a sniper rifle from a mile. It's true. The
it
copywriter,
is.
And the personality type, the person who's attracted to copywriting tends to be someone who living inside their head a lot, likes to spend time alone.
Yeah.
You can't just have one skill. Like I've met copywriters who are extremely gifted, talented, but don't have much in the way of social skill or ability to engage with others. And they still struggle to make money unless they work inside somebody's company, or they have somebody who's a friend who kind of looks after them and refers them clients. But they find it very difficult to go out and generate their own leads and close their own deals.
Yeah, yeah. I also know a few people, but uh, yeah, it's tough. I know. I mean, um, I learned that this business might be one of the most difficult businesses to work in. It's very demanding. I mean, when you see other businesses, just people like especially leads, and I'm not talking about the online space. The online space can be a bit tough, I guess. But I mean, other people just open a business if they have a good product, the leads just coming in without any effort. I have a few friends that just have like a couple of businesses. They opened up in Cyprus. They just go in, work. They don't do any marketing efforts. Business just comes in. And I say, damn, I have to go hunting every day to put food on the table, you know?
It can depend. Look, a lot of businesses are very location dependent. You get a good location, business works because they're passing by your door. If you don't have the right location, business is never going to work. I mean, the great thing about online is the freedom. The downside of that freedom is that there's a lot of choice. So you have to be noisy. You have to make yourself stand out and give people a reason to choose you over somebody else.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to learn those skills. I had to. I was hungry. So I just forced myself, even if it wasn't natural. I just had to do it. But yeah, I mean, ultimately selling myself. And also he helped me with improving my copy skills, improving the DIY email marketing. Um, he was very smart in that area, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
He blew my mind away. But even like he was sharing experiences that he was having in events in the US, chatting with all those high level business owners that he knew of, marketers that we look up to some, and yeah. Um, what else did he share? I mean, he also told me how to, again, ways to grow a personal brand, like be on podcasts, uh, like what we're doing right now. And
I don't call this a
being
podcast, but
interviewed.
it is. I mean, the viewership is still pretty small, but the people who are paying attention are paying attention. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
people spending money are paying attention. That remains to be seen. But I just figured like it's worth to do it as an exercise anyway, because every week, if a couple hundred more people like see it or find out about it or refer to somebody, and I'm getting messages starting to come in now about people really enjoying the conversations. Um, it it's valuable to someone to know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
experience.
it is, and I mean, I don't mind. Like, I don't care if someone comes to me and says like only 5 people listen to my podcast or whatever. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna do it because it's a way for me to be consistent and just showing up every single day. That's what matters. So yeah, um, more or less, that's what he told me. As far as I remember right now.
Yeah, I mean, what I found is, I mean, when I go, I'm looking to buy anything services related. I'm going and searching for the person or for the business, and everybody else is doing the same. So if someone can search for your name, potentially a lead or somebody you're potentially doing business with, they go and do a Google search for you to see, and they see you speaking on some podcasts, or they see your name connected with other people who are known to be successful, it immediately gives you some credibility. And people say, oh, okay, well, he worked with that person, or he was involved in that person, or he was in that person's program, or he was on that person's podcast as a guest. And so that's like a plus point in your favor always.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. every single time. I mean, I had business coming because I was on a couple of podcasts. So it's a great way. And I mean, you can also get those podcasts and do some form of content with those. Like there's a bunch of AI tools right now that can get your podcast video and just transform it into short form content, um, which is again uh, putting content online um, is essential for any business owner. And although Troy told me that back then, I'm still like I haven't 100% nailed it down.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm just starting to realize how important it is to keep posting every single day and essentially on every single social media channel. Um, just create opportunities for you. It's the best way to generate business.
People talk about this idea of showing up, and the reason you have to show up is that essentially you are invisible if you don't. I mean, you can certainly have a website, which is good. People will find you organically through a website, but unless you're really good at SEO, you're not going to quickly drive a lot of traffic from just a website. You have to pay for your traffic to your website or to your offers or whatever else. And the way you pay for that traffic is A, actually just pay for ads with advertising, or B, to create organic content that people want to engage with and post it on social media networks. But one way or another, whether it's cash or time, you're paying for people to notice you. But you have to do that because you don't have a physical storefront where customers can walk past your door and just come in and have a look at what you've got to offer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Posting online and creating content is one of the best ways to get leads, especially when you're leading with value. And I mean, you are an expert in this field where you have a big network and you know how to network with people. But essentially, just don't be like salesy. Um, I tried that in the past in the beginning when I was too needy. I would just straight pitch everyone in my DM.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something that didn't feel original with me. Like I felt that I'm doing it. This is not me at the end of the day. Um, there has to be a better way to do things. So yeah, posting content online is very important.
It's also the style of approach for me is like there's a couple of things. You talked about being kind a few minutes ago, but I don't think that's actually the most accurate word for you or for me. It's more to me, from my perspective, about being helpful.
Yes, yes, that's a much better word. Yeah.
Yeah, you are that, and that's like, I mean, you are somebody who tries to be helpful to people with the understanding that if you are helpful to people, some of those people will hire you. Some may not hire you, but they will still say, they will tell other people and build your reputation for you by saying that you were helpful to them or trying to refer you business to their friends. Most people have a sense of reciprocity. And if you try to be helpful to somebody, usually they'll want to give back to you in some way. May not, maybe financial, they want to hire you and pay you, or it may just be that they'll recommend you for something, or they may send you an opportunity that comes their way. But I know that is true of you, that as long as I've known you, you've always been someone who just tries to be helpful to people. And that seems to be pretty effective for you because people, I mean, I know you've referred business to me, I've referred business to you, and then our mutual acquaintances have referred business to you as well, simply because you just took a little bit of extra time to be helpful and do something for nothing without an expectation of getting back.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't remember how many times I got on Zoom calls with no expectation whatsoever because just a person needed help with something. So I spend my time helping them. If that turns to me in return with a new business or whatever, that's fine. But I had zero expectation, just wanted to be helpful, as you said.
Mhm.
Um, and probably that's something that not many people do. So I guess yeah, it's a good way to also be known as someone that genuinely wants to help, and people will refer people to you.
I think short term, it can be maybe sometimes less effective. I know some people out there who are very aggressive about sales and will just churn through their leads, and that can work really well if you've got a system to build you a lot of lead flow. Um, and it can work really well in business to consumer markets where you maybe have a set LTV on a client and then you move on. But if you're working doing B2B services like we're doing, it's a relatively small industry. People talk. And if you go around, overselling, under delivering, and burning people and mistreating people, it does catch up eventually. And people do spoil their reputations. And once they're spoiled, it's kind of hard to rehabilitate them.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I absolutely agree. I mean, I remember a person who you referred me last year, and he thought he was having some deliverability issues. And I did a bunch of tests for him, and it turned out his deliverability was great. I just told him that maybe you just need to improve your subject lines. And
Mm-hmm.
essentially, I don't have nothing to sell you, like I'm not gonna be greedy and tell you like you have an issue, because it's very easy to manipulate things when someone isn't like a technical person in that field. So I would easily say that you have deliverability issues. Like I could manipulate the data and show him like this is what's happening. You need to hire me, but I just wanted to stay strong with my values. And I told him, I have nothing to sell you. This is what you need to do, and if you need any help in the future, just let me know. That was it, basically. So
When you go to work with the client and you take a look at how their email is at the beginning, what kind of situations do you see customers having? Because a lot of people who I know are email marketers say that clients often don't realize how much opportunity they actually have with the email list they've already built up, and they're not really doing much with that list.
yeah, good question. The two parts of email marketing come down to campaigns or automations. Um, Mostly. I look after like I guess the third thing is deliverability as well. But what business owners do is the most things that I've seen is email frequency, not sending enough emails, being afraid to send emails. They would send maybe 2, 3 emails maximum a week, which I mean, if they would send at least 6 emails a week, I'm not saying that they will make twice as much, but it will make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it comes down to deliverability. I have to look at their open rates and do some tests, because I always say that if you hire the best email marketer in the world, the best copywriter, email copywriter in the world, if your email is like going to spam, then there's no point. Nobody's going to see it. So that's another area I look after. And then there's automations, which I've seen that sometimes or most times there are key automations that are missing. And then there's the thing that they don't have enough emails inside those automations. A business, in my experience, needs at least 5 automations. And I'm talking about mostly e-commerce. Like I've worked with other coaches as well and consultants, which if you have funnels, then that adds up, because it's natural to have more automations specifically for each funnel. But yeah, for example, if you have an abandoned cart automation and you just have 3 emails in there, then you're just losing a bunch of money. You have to at least have 5 emails. So it's
Mm-hmm.
also the quantity of emails that are included in each automation. And these are just the basic stuff. You want to go more advanced, and there's a tactic about the email strategy, what goes after each email, what you're going to say, the copy, the subject lines, all these things play a role into increasing your email revenue.
Yes, it's just like you say, and what I've seen is that people are worried that people will unsubscribe, but they'll reduce their list size, or people will complain, and it's like it's hard to get that across to the business owners. Like, if some customers complain, that's okay. It's not a bad thing. the ones who complain probably aren't your best customers. Your best customers,
Mm.
they don't either A, they don't care, or B, they're happy because they like to read your emails. If you
Yes.
if you're sending good emails. Now, if you're sending a lot of boring crap, you're going to get more complaints. But if you're sending interesting emails or even just funny emails, if stuff, it doesn't even have to be educational, if it just makes people laugh, that's good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We live in an era where people want to be entertained. So at the end of the day, if you send a few emails that are entertaining, then not many businesses are doing that. So it's a good differentiation point for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. So many copywriters don't want to use humor, but like the few copywriters I know who do use humor effectively, they do very, very well. And it's like, of course they do. I mean, Ben Settle's been saying this for years about edutainment. Like, yes, you want to educate people, you want your buyers to be educated on why they should buy from you and nobody else, or why what you do is important and matters and how you can help them solve their problems. But they want to laugh, they want to have fun, and they want to feel some emotion. So like take them on a journey, make them feel something. And that's enough for people to keep on opening, right?
Absolutely, yeah, very valid points. Exactly.
The I had a thing recently with a client where they have a they do a 5-day challenge, and they asked me, like, to help them with their emails. They're like, oh, emails are not converting, or we're not getting enough people into the challenge. So I was like, okay, well, what do you think you should do? And I think they thought I was going to come to them with some like advanced strategy. It's like, okay, how many emails are you sending? We're sending about 5. Okay, let's send 15 emails instead of 5. So I just went and wrote 15 emails. I basically used the same emails they already had. I just made them a bit longer, and I copied and pasted them and changed some ideas and just turned 5 emails into 15 emails with the same messaging, nothing new. It was the same stuff, really. Okay, now send all of those. Or do we have to send all 15? Maybe we'll just send, like 9 or 10. I was like, no, send them all, please. In the end, they sent 12 emails instead of 5. And sure enough, a lot more people came to the challenge. Like, oh, we got more people signing up for the challenge this time than last time. I was like, yeah, just send more emails. It's so simple,
It's so
so
simple.
basic.
It's so simple, yeah, so
Yeah.
simple.
You don't even need better emails. You just need more of the same standard you've already got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be advanced or, having to learn new things or spend money on courses or whatever. Just send more emails. You'll immediately get more sales.
People think they're missing out on advanced strategies, but the reality is not that they're just not even doing the basic stuff. I mean, I'm as guilty as anybody. Like, I've got a half finished funnel. Well, it's about 60, no, about 70% finished now, that I've been working on bit by bit for a few months. And I made the first bit and I put it out to my mailing list, and I got about, I think, 55 sales off of that. But I had no upsells in it. It wasn't optimized. It was like rough. Now, if I had done that properly and had some proper upsells in it, I didn't make much money off it, but I really just wanted to get it out there. And but I would have probably made 3 times as much if I just had one upsell in that fund.
Hmm.
I'm going back, doing the upsells properly, and I'm going to actually relaunch it and spend some money on traffic for it. But like, I do this for a living, and even I'm not doing the basic stuff sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult because you have to run a bunch of things. I mean, we're all busy. We're just some things we might neglect them, but yeah, the simple stuff always work. And I mean, not to just stay with the first mentor I had, Troy Erickson, but my next mentor that you introduced me to, Pete Devkota, is probably the simplest email marketer in the world. And it's crazy, like what sort of simple things he does for clients that gets them a ton of results,
Mhm.
and the business owners wouldn't think of, because um, I don't know if we people we are wired in thinking that everything needs to be complex to get the best results for us. But at the end of the day, just keeping things brutally simple is a big needle mover.
Yeah. And yeah, that's just Pete Devkota is a lovely guy and a really smart guy who's made many, many millions
Mm.
for his clients from email marketing. And Pete's just like that. He's just like, stick to the basics. give people good offers and send more emails, right? It's like
Yeah.
its philosophy is like you're just not sending enough. Send more emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep in touch with your customers more often and they will buy more. It's really not complicated. But so few people do it because everyone thinks that they're just, there's some shiny new strategy just around the corner or some advanced thing that they need to know to be successful. And it's not true. It's like do the simple stuff that's proven to work and have a high boredom threshold so you can do it again and again and keep making money.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. And I mean, the one thing that blew my mind with Pete was is, as email marketers, we are told that you have to be sending different emails every week, even every month, just keep like generating new messages and content and stuff. But emails, Pete said that, the same goes with Facebook ads, for example. If you find a good creative that is working, then what do Facebook marketers do? They just keep promoting that more, and that's what gets them the results. So essentially, you have to be doing that with email marketing. So Pete, what he does is, as soon as he finds that a good creative that is working, a good email, he will keep sending that more frequently because that's what's getting the results, and that's what resonating with the customers. You don't have to learn, as you said, a shiny new strategy. It's you have to just keep doing what's working and be consistent.
Yes. And like just to use the kind of to sort of relate that to something like Facebook ads, the people who I work with who write Facebook ads and they will write 50 to 100 ads before they find one that's good. But when they find one that's good, they're not just going to use it a couple of times. They're going to run with it. They're going to take that ad. They're going to say, okay, let's try 10 different images for it. Okay, now what else can we do? Can we change the first line? Can we put a different hook? And let's try 10 different hooks. Now they've got 10 different hooks, 10 different images, and one piece of body copy. And there's 100 different ways they can mix and match and test it together. Okay, now can we turn this copy into a video script and let's make some video ads with it? Will those video ads, they worked on Facebook, will they work on YouTube? Let's take it on YouTube and see if it works again. So one good piece of creative can turn into 100 pieces of creative once you find something that's effective and works, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you just not have to stick with what's working on the front end and that's it. Just use what's working on the front end and use that on the back end as well, because essentially it's the same group of people. So you have to send the same exact messaging, let's say, to get your results.
Mm-hmm. Alex, we're coming up on an hour, so we're probably going to wrap up because it's late here. I know it's even later where you are. And if people want to find you, want to work with you, or just want to talk marketing or learn a little bit more about you, where can they connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, you can reach out to me on Facebook or send me an email at alex@emailbountyhunter.com. Um, but yeah, I'm active on Facebook and on email, so you can find me there.
Awesome. And yeah, by the way, I just wanted to say thank you once again. Like, we've known each other a couple of years. We met in person for the first time this year. And you're just always a very kind and generous person. And I don't know if I've shown it before. It's up here behind me on my bookcase. You got me the little statue of Plato, the Greek philosopher, which I really appreciated. It was just such a very kind gift of you to give me. And I just wanted to, thank you for that. And just being a very thoughtful and helpful person, who I really appreciate.
You're welcome, John. And it's not something that, you know, it comes naturally. It's my pleasure. And of course, I want to give back to the people that have helped me. So I never forget about those people. I just want to keep caring for them. So yeah, you're absolutely welcome.
Okay. Thanks so much, Alex. I'm going to stop the recording now.
All right.